Thank you very much. This were done online, except for one of it that we had a training session. I'm really excited about this because this was actually the initial plan for this program. Can we applaud ourselves for being part of it? You don't understand. Over 2,000 or 3,000, if I'm not mistaken, have been part of this event online. Can you give t-shirts online? No. Can you give t-shirts online? No. Okay, so you should understand the event amongst many other things. To call on, please can we do this out?
Yes, it made me feel really cool. Okay. Good afternoon, young engineers. I'm delighted to be here, and I'm also delighted that we are having this event as a physical event for the first time in almost 2 years. This is an event that was started in January 2020. We intended that by March 2020 we are going to have the southwest zone of Nigeria gather like this. We'll go to the southeast zone, gather like this. But when the corona started, we had to be a little more creative and find a way of making people to enjoy this program. First, let me tell you what this program is all about. In our going around as adult engineers and even as APWEN, there are organizations we go to, especially these multinationals. They will tell you that they want to increase the percentage of women in their technical workers, but that they can't find female engineers. But female engineers are there saying you can't find job. So there is that disconnect. And I realized that why these two people are not finding, these two personalities are not finding each other, is because they just don't know where to find each other. For example, the young engineer that is graduating out of school, maybe year 4 or year 5. This program is actually for year 4, year 5, then after graduation, first, second, and third year. I have a friend who today works with one of the multinationals. He finished from ABU. He's a man. He's a civil engineer. He told me that when he was in school, he had never heard of things like Chevron, Shell, all those big companies, in the oil companies particularly. He said he had never heard about them, and that he just managed to go. I mean, he went to school, he plays, he does everything. So he just came out with a 2-2, but that he had some friends then, who used to study like their life depended on it. They came out with first class 2-1. It didn't make any difference to him. He said until he went to work in, I think after youth service, he was now working in Federal Ministry of Works, and he was posted to Warri. That was when he saw some of his classmates, whom they were in ABU together. They were working with Shell. They were earning like 100 times of what he was earning. What? He went there, I want to apply. They said, no, you can't apply. Even this your class of degree, you can't even take it. So that was when it dawned on him. Now this is why these people were so serious in school. They will be studying, they will be making great marks and all that. So we will not take it for granted that there are people like that also, even today, who do not know even about these companies or how you can be employed there. You don't have to be employed there if you don't want it. Like the way we structure this turn and gown, if it goes online, we would say indicate your area of interest. If you say you want oil and gas, for example, we will put you in a room in a breakout session with an oil and gas company like Chevron. Chevron has been on our platform. Shell has been on our platform. Baker Hughes has been on our platform. Delta Freak, they've been on our platform. If you say you want fast-moving consumer goods, we put you with Unilever or Guinness. And what are they going to be telling you about a career in their company? How can you get employed in our company? What class of degree? This is the class of degree that we normally take. You can ask them questions. Do you employ female engineers? What is the prospect of progressing if I'm a female engineer in your company? Then they will tell you these things, so that already, even from now, whether you are graduated or you are still in school, you cannot be focused and begin to think, I think I like this Baker Hughes. I never even heard about them. Who do they say that they are? I would like to work in this kind of place. It's easier to achieve a goal when you have that goal. When you have that, when you know the place where you are going. Like people are playing football now. If there is no goal post, where would they shoot the ball? Okay? But when you put a goal post, everybody knows that your ball must enter inside that box. If it does not enter, you have not scored. So we have brought these people so that they will speak to you about their company. You can ask them questions. Somebody was asking me earlier that what about internship? She would like to do internship with I said, what kind of company will you like? He mentioned a company, that one of those that will come in. I said, they are coming here today. Raise up your hand and ask them that question. How can I get internship there? Then he will tell you the way they do internship there and how you can do it. Maybe you need to go to their website. They will tell you maybe you need to structure your CV this particular way. So that is the whole idea, because APWEN, our number one mission is to increase the number of women that are practicing engineering. You have already studied it or you are studying it, but there are many who finish and do not practice. I always say I almost became an accountant. I wanted to go and do ICANN and get all the great marks and begin to practice accountancy, because I felt that's where the money was, that I'll be able to make a lot of money. So I wanted to go there. But now I'm able to see, it was even an accountant who told me, why don't you practice this, your chemical engineering, and then see, instead of jumping into another profession without practicing the one you have. So you can have your passion, decide on other things you may want to do. But if you really want to practice engineering, you have this opportunity that we are presenting you today from different companies who will be speaking to you. Today, this program is being sponsored by Worley Foundation. We have Worley Energy, Chemicals and Resources is a company in Australia, and they gave us that's why we were able to print all of this and give you all the t-shirts that you are wearing. That's why we're able to pay for your hostel, because they gave us money, and we're able to give you meals, in the morning and in the night. I'm sure they brought food to your hostel this morning, and they bring it every night also, courtesy of Worley Foundation. So we have here company Siemens Energy. I would like the people that
that gives the background behind this program. Entering with the ground style is the provost of Oko Polytechnic. Greg? No? Okay, so don't let me make that mistake. I've asked that they should give me a portfolio and a full name. You're welcome. Can you please applaud her, the rector of Oko Poly, and the first female rector? Yes. Can you please applaud her? So like my president said during her details, that usually when we have this online, we have breakout sessions wherein students who are pre-registered will go into various breakout sessions. Those breakout sessions represent various industries. If you're interested in LCMG manufacturing, if you're interested in the oil and gas, if you're interested in infrastructure, if you're interested in energy, if you're interested in any area, any field in engineering. So now that we're here physically, I know we have about 4 or more companies here. We have from Guinness, Tolu, OCC, I hope I called that right, if she's here. From Guinness, okay, thank you very much. Guinness are also one of our major sponsors of this conference and of Town and Gown. Please, yes, please come off stage.
Good morning, students. Sorry, I think I had a little cold, so bear with me. My name is Ibiemebe Okoko. I have a first degree in electrical electronics engineering from the University of Port Harcourt. And And then engineering was so interesting, I said I would like to delve into the business aspect of engineering. So I did a master's in engineering business in University of Warwick, United Kingdom. And then I said, okay, I have interest to be in the space industry, and I work for the Nigerian Communications Satellite. So I went to do another master's in space business. So it's all about understanding how the business of space works. So I'm happy to be here, and I would like to just encourage you all. I don't know how I will, but I'm just happy to encourage you all in any way I can. Thank you.
Okay, good morning everyone. My name is Chidera Dimude. I work for Nigerian Breweries PLC. I'm a talent acquisition and employer value proposition manager. I'm here with 4 of our colleagues as well, all engineers. My encouragement for you all is just to say the sky is your starting point. As you know, balance for better. So whatever the men can do, you can definitely do better. Thank you.
My name is Stephanie Ona. I have a first degree in chemical engineering from the University of Warwick. I've been working with Nigerian Breweries for 10 years now. I will be sharing with you my experience, and I would like to tell you that you can hone your career and you can be better than everyone's senior. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Engineer Victoria Essien. I have a 2 first degree in electrical and chemical engineering. So I went further to the United States Loughborough University to do advanced process engineering. So I've been working with Baker. I'll be 10 years next month. So I want to tell you that have passion for what you want, and your passion will drive you towards achieving it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Tolu Dr. OCC is my name. I prefer to be called Tolu. I work with Guinness Nigeria PLC, the subsidiary of Diageo. Diageo is a global company that deals with total beverage alcohol. In Nigeria, Guinness Nigeria is the first company to have total beverage alcohol in its portfolio. And what we mean by that is we sell spirits, we sell beer, and we sell alcohol. I'm the talent engagement manager for Guinness Nigeria PLC. I look for people like you to work with us and for us character development.
Thank you very much. I remember one of the emails that Tolu sent to us, and she kept following up on that email, even when we are the one that, so we appreciate that consistency to ensure that we have lots of female engineers in your industry. Thank you very much. So what we'll do now is we're going to have each of the speakers talk about their expectation. If you want to be engaged with Guinness, if you want to be an employee at Nibri, if you want to work with Baker Hughes, what are the expectations? And a little bit of their journey from where they started to where they are career-wise. So I don't want to start with you, or if you want to go first, but I want the volunteer to go first and eat this off. 5 minutes, 7 minutes, or less. Nigerian Bureau, thank you.
Scheme. Another one is NYSC route. We also have internships for penultimate year students. We also have something called ITF NECA. It's more of it's like a non-management role for technical people. So in case you know anybody out there who maybe went to a technical school, you can also let them know about the program. You can find out more about all the things I've mentioned on our LinkedIn. We'd like you to follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and other pages where we advertise the majority of our roles. We also started doing something this year called Afrotech Girls. So we partner with an organization called Afrotech Girls. And this organization basically reaches out to females in STEM, so females who study science, technological subjects, engineering, and mathematics. So please, go on Google and look out for them. And this year, we're partnering with them to reach out to 100 females who can, number one, come to our brewery locations for a tour. And I think there will be an assessment where they end up picking 10 females who will be given the opportunity to do a one-year internship with Nigerian Breweries. So please look out for them, register, and apply so that you can be part of it. Another thing we are doing is called Employability Webinar. It's a free webinar where we invite young graduates and job seekers, and we invite speakers to teach them how to prepare themselves for the world of work. So one thing I've noticed when I'm recruiting or involved in recruitment processes, some of us don't have the etiquette to stand out in those interviews. So interviews are not just places where you go and you answer a few questions and you get the job. We actually need to be prepared, from the application process to the online tests to the actual interviews where you're researching about the company, and you're finding out, okay, what are the etiquettes, what are those little things I need to do to stand out in the interview process. So we'll be having one on October 8th. Again, please find out more about that on our LinkedIn page. I've also shared with Engineer Uchechi, has helped me share the link for the employability webinar on the APWEN WhatsApp group. And we also shared a survey where you can put in your details in case you're interested in future opportunities with Nigerian Breweries. We'll definitely contact you. So I'll just hand over now to Stephanie Ona, who will take us through her journey so far as a female engineer in Nigerian Breweries. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Good morning once again, everyone. Good to see everyone. I'll be running you through how I got into Nigerian Breweries and how the journey has been for me. Like I mentioned earlier, I joined Nigerian Breweries sometime in 2011 without knowing anyone. Applied online, just like you said, and then went through the aptitude process, the interviews, and then got the good news that I was taken as one of the graduate trainees. So Nigerian Breweries has a program that tries to help you succeed. They start off with you with a one-year training program. So, and that one-year training program is fully paid, so you're paid like a full-time employee. You'll be attending the Supply Chain Academy, that's what it's called, where you'll be taught the basics of engineering, what you'll be applying on the field. So for the STEM students, when you're coming into Nigerian Breweries, you are going into either the brewing department or the packaging department or the engineering department. So you'll be taught the basics for one full year, and you'll also be exposed to, just like an internship, to different locations. So you go for 2 internships in 2 different locations where you would also practice what you have learned in the classroom. At the end of that 1 year, you'll be sent out to the location, and not just sent out alone, you'll be assigned a mentor. As you are practicing what you have learned, if you have any issues, you have a mentor to speak to for 1 year to guide you. This is to help you settle in fast and also help you deliver in your results. So Nigerian Breweries also has a clear objective. It's a very structured company, I must tell you. You come in at the first quarter of the year, your objectives, those are like your KPIs that you'll be driving for the year, is spelled out for you. And as you go on a monthly basis, you have a one-on-one coaching session with your direct line manager, who tells you if you are in the right course, if you are doing the right thing. We also have what we call the leadership expectations that drives the behavior. Every company has a certain type of behavior that we should see. For us, one basic thing is that you must be able to network, learn very fast from your people, learn very fast, learn to collaborate, to support, and also be patient with people and listen to people. Certainly, you were picked because there's something that Nigerian Breweries have seen in you as a talent, and so they want you to share that and also learn from other people. The second one is called what we call shape. Shape is all about being proactive, be bold, dare to change status quo. It is allowed. You can change things, and we love that behavior in people. Then you must learn, you must also develop. We have a lot of trainings that are programmed to help you develop on the job. Then it's a high results-driven company, so you must learn to. We also teach you how to deliver results. I started as a shift manager in brewing. As a shift manager, I was involved in carrying out lots of projects. You will enjoy the place because it is somewhere where you use tools. There's nothing that motivates anyone than seeing yourself involved in troubleshooting and delivering results. Nothing motivates than seeing your handwork results in good results. And good results are also appreciated because one of Nigerian Breweries' core values is also enjoyment. So every good result is celebrated. I did that job for about 2.5 years before I got my next promotion to become the process technologist. As a process technologist, we are now moving towards quality. So I've done the main shop floor job, organizing production, making sure the volume is out there for the customers at the right quality. As a process technologist, you are now going to be looking top view the process based on what you have learned. What are the things in your plants that you want to improve on? So they give you the free hand, you talk to your boss, you get all the support you need, and you drive for that improvement. After about another 2 years on that job, I was also promoted as a technological controller. And as a technological controller, I'm a member of the leadership team, influencing strategic decisions for the business and making sure that whatever we produce is safe for consumers to consume. So please, Nigerian Breweries is a great company. We look out for great people. And like my director spoke about yesterday, presently we have about 30% females in our leadership position. We are looking to expand that to go further and employ more females and have more females in our leadership position. And we can't do that if we don't have females in that pipeline. So it is when you join us, we groom you, and we see women sitting at decision tables to make things better for all of us. So thank you.
Good afternoon again. So I have to prepare a brief presentation for you, and I'll just start again. Like I had introduced earlier, my name is Ibi, a member of COCO. I work for the Nigerian Communications Satellite Limited. I'm the Acting General Manager for Business, Development and Marketing. Okay, so the presentation just speaks to the Nigerian space industry, something about satellites, types of satellites, space system, launch vehicle, who can work in the space industry, the NIGCOMSAT workplace, the women in space, and the end. So it's very important for you all to know that Nigeria has two space organizations. One is the Nigerian Communications Satellite Limited, NIGCOMSAT, and the other is National Space Research and Development Agency, NASDAQ. These two organizations have two different satellites. NIGCOMSAT has a communication satellite, and it's all about providing connectivity and communication solutions, while NASDAQ has an Earth observation satellite. They're two different satellites, and it's important for you to know that. Now, a little about satellites. Satellites can be natural or artificial. Natural satellites, you have like the moon. Artificial satellites, you have like the Nigerian communication satellite and the Earth observation satellite you have in NASDAQ. I'm going to try and be very brief so I don't take too much of your time. This just shows you various types of satellites. You have a communication satellite up there. You have the Earth observation satellite. You have a navigation satellite. There are various types of satellites that are utilized to offer different things. For example, there's a weather satellite, and that's how we know the weather forecast we look out on our TVs every day. So for you to launch a satellite, you need to have a satellite. That's the satellite with the 2 wings. You have to go through a launch vehicle. You need antennas to receive and transmit from the satellite. That's the launch vehicle taking the satellite to its orbit. Orbit is where you place the satellite. It's like the address where a satellite has to be. So who can work in the space industry? Typically, everybody just thinks about engineers and scientists, but there are lots of other skills and other, I would say, skills, or I would say other disciplines. Okay, thank you for that. Professions that can actually work in this industry. But particularly we have the engineers, because basically satellite technology spans about engineering, and then control, you have to have technology and engineering. But you have also scientists who have a very key role to play in this. But then behind the scenes, you have marketing, you have business development. Like me, I'm an engineer, whereas I'm doing business development. Because you have to understand the satellite solution to be able to develop a business to sell. So you have to understand the satellite from an engineering point and from a business point. But we have the administrators, we have the lawyers, we have the admins, we have the accountants, we have all sorts of skills that we put together to work in this industry. So you must not be an engineer. So NIGECOMSAT particularly has 3 arms under the managing director. The first arm is the technical, the second arm is the marketing and business development, and the third arm is the finance and administration. Like I said, finance and administration is also very key in this industry as well. So the technical, which is our key focus, we have the network operations center and we have the satellite control center. The network operations center is where we control all the networks and systems we deliver to customers. And the satellite control center is where we monitor the satellite. The satellite is in a geostationary orbit, so you have to monitor that the satellite maintains its orbital location. The orbital location for NIGECOMSAT is 42.5 degrees east. So we must make sure that it maintains that orbital location. So we have the SCC that controls that and monitors that, and simulate some of these commands to make sure that when we finally send commands to the satellite, it is accurate. So we have training and innovation. We believe that this is such a specialized environment, and so we need to internally retrain and train our engineers and everybody within the industry, within the organization. And we need to teach them innovative technologies that are happening today and that are disrupting technologies as well today. And we have to also develop. So now the marketing and business development has to create awareness to the public about what NIGECOMSAT is all about. And then the business development has to design solutions to sell for NIGECOMSAT. And of course we have the stakeholder engagement, which is responsible for managing all the stakeholders that NIGECOMSAT has. And you have the finance and administration that takes care of accounts and human capital. Women in space. So we've had so many women get into the space world. Of course, we all know about the ISS and all the women who have gone up into space. And then we have the women who actually work in the space industry now, beyond the International Space Station, the satellite organizations where you have women. And what I've just done in this slide is just highlighting key women that have been in this industry. So women from Tanzania, Kenya, Nigeria, but most importantly, the managing director and CEO of Nigerian Communication Satellite is a woman, and she's been on that position for the last 7 years. She's actually had a degree in medical science and then went into space technology. So I don't want to waste your time, but this is about her, and she's really grown to this level, and she's doing a very great job. And I'd like to encourage her leveraging, I'd like to encourage you all leveraging on what she's done so far. So this is me. Like I said, I'm the Acting General Manager of Marketing and Business Development. I've had over 22 years of working experience, and I've worked from the oil and gas sector to the space business sector. So I've really gone round in engineering, and I'm happy to encourage you all. NIGECOMSAT employs, and NIGECOMSAT particularly looks for female engineers because we have very, very few of us in the engineering department. We really would be happy to have one of you on board very soon. We have Florence Ibrahim. Florence is here. Florence is an engineer. Florence has also had 12 years experience working with the satellite control and operations. Florence is actually in the technical department, so she can tell you so much about how we control the satellite. And so I won't take too long talking about these people, but then basically NIGECOMSAT, we're happy to always talk about Nigerian communication satellite. It provides satellite-based internet and connectivity solutions across TV operators, internet operators, and diverse sectors. So we're so happy to be here. You know, there's so much to talk about, but I want to be respectful to give other people the opportunity to speak. But please feel free to contact us. We have our contact details on the screen for you. And thank you so much for listening, and I do hope that I've encouraged you a little bit. Thank you.
Engineering is beautiful, isn't it? It makes the world a better place. Can we please applaud our speakers so far? Baker Hughes.
Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, I'm here as a participant, but I'm also representing my company. So I want to start by letting you know what Baker Hughes does. I know we've talked about it, so I won't take your time. So I'll just give you some facts you need to take home with. So Baker Hughes is into oil and gas. So in Baker Hughes, we have different subsections. So we have the drilling services. We have the OFE. I think that is the one that does the subsea trees. But you'll be hearing Christmas tree. So I'm going to explain to you later. We have chemicals. We have turbo machinery. And we have the drilling field. So we have a full package to start from drilling, like from seismic, ensuring that the well logging and everything is fine, towards ensuring your crude is out of the well. So I think the oil and gas I'm going to talk to you today about is from drilling to having your crude oil out of the well to the flow stations and everything. So we are a servicing company, so we work for the likes of Shell and Exxon and others. So they come to us to design the tree for them to come and drill the well, so we own the technology. So in our drilling session, I just want to, what I'm going to talk to us today is, I'm going to talk to, since we are engineers and we know all the branches of engineering, I'm just going to tell you where you can fit in. Okay, so that's how we are just going to go. So in our drilling sections, we employ both electrical, even chemical engineers, and almost all the engineering field. So as an electrical engineer, you can work on the rig. As a geophysicist, or you're doing something related to petroleum, which is the geophysics of it, you can work on the rig. You can work with the drilling tools. We have one of the sections which is drilling bits. So we produce the drilling bits. So we supply the drilling bits plus the drilling tools itself. So now, just as the last speaker spoke about internet, we don't really need to be on the rig to actually know the information and things that are happening. I think VSAT is doing all that for us. So in our offices, we have maybe one of our guys on the rig, and with the help of other servicing companies, we drill the well. So we drill both onshore and offshore. So once the company has identified maybe that, oh, this area is feasible for crude oil to be produced, so we go and the seismic company does all the geophysics and everything. We have even the geoscience department as well. So once there is a feasibility, what we do is we go there to do the drilling. So we have smart tools. So when you hear smart tools, there are tools that can think like human being because of the programs that have been written on them. So we have smart tools that we use in drilling. So the smart tool will actually be giving us real-time data. So you'll just be hearing somewhere when they talk about real-time data. Real-time data is, you know, when you're studying, you do your unit of operations, right? So when you're doing unit of operations, they will tell you about all the principles. So everything is being used. Both your thermodynamics, everything you're studying in the school is applicable. Your simulation, you have it there. So once they start drilling, it will be producing, giving you real-time data. It will be telling you at what temperature they are drilling, at what speed they are drilling. You know, when you're drilling, it's like you're doing your local well. You know, when you want water from the ground, what you do, you call borehole drillers to drill for you manually, right? So this one will actually be giving you your real-time data because there are memory installed in the tool. So in the tool, it will tell you what temperature, what pressure, what flow rate, or it's too hot, you need more drilling fluid. So we actually have the drilling fluid section that deals with, I think they call them mud engineers. So we have the drilling fluid section that produces drilling fluid like your brine, and other lignosulfates and others. So those are some of the drilling fluid that are used on the rig. So we actually produce that as well. If you need a chemical to maybe when you are finished drilling from a well and you think that well is not viable, we can actually go down maybe 5,000 feet that we have drilled or 6,000 feet and actually make that well reproduce, which is the recovery method that they do in petroleum. So those are some of the things. So if you're a chemical engineer, you're an electrical engineer, you have a place in Baker Hughes to work. All you need to do is go to www.bakerhughes.career and you will see, just Google it and you will follow Baker Hughes on LinkedIn, you will follow Baker Hughes on Instagram, and whenever there is job opening, I think we do that. So in Baker Hughes, our core values are we care, we collaborate, we lead. So part of our core values are to lead and care for people. So we have in our team an association, I will call it a body, it's a non-profit body, the Women's Network. Okay, so the Women's Network of Baker Hughes is trying to bridge the gap of inclusion and diversity. And that section is trying to make sure that whenever there is recruitment, the female engineers are well represented. So I think our Women's Network normally sponsors a lot of activities for APWEN. And they actually sponsored our coming to this program because, you know, a lot of companies right now as I speak have like embargo on travel. But someone needs to like make a justification for you to actually travel at this point in time. So we have a strong body of women where you have a diversity manager managing it and ensuring that wherever there is recruitment, women are heavily represented. So I want to encourage you that you do that. When you graduate from school, you need to ascertain which pathway do you need to go. You know, yesterday we were deliberating on some ladies don't want to do the physical engineering, which involves maybe if you're a civil engineer, getting involved in going to the field, or you don't want to go to the rig. There are soft areas you can actually work as an engineer. It starts by you, first and foremost, identifying what path you want to take. And once you know the path you want to take, you do some certifications. So what can take you into an industry? Let's say an industry has opened up an opening and they are requesting for just 10 students or to pick up. You know what you need to do is you have your CV. So some of these recruitment companies have like an application that has given like the core points of what they need to see on your CV. So you need to ensure that when you want to do an application, first and foremost, understand the requirements, what the company says they want. And you have to tweak your CV to look at what you are and tweak your CV to represent what the company is looking, because it's a robot. It's just looking for those key terms that the company has published. Are they there? So once those key terms are there, it first of all filters those that don't have those key terms away. So a company might say we are looking for 2-1. That's like an example, and you are 2-2. So in the first filtering, all the 2-1s are the ones the company is going to filter out. So all the 2-2s will even have the opportunity of getting to the first stage. So they keep changing and changing until, because if they send 10,000 applications, how do you think? Do you think the HROs will go through and look at them one-one? So they use an application to do all those featuring. So make sure, number one, your CV is up to point. If they are requesting for certifications and you don't have them, make sure you spend some money to get certified. So most of us want to do the soft skills. So as an engineer, you can even do maybe procurement. You can, because now as engineers, they are using in the procurement section to ensure that they actually understand the specification of the materials they are requesting for. If you are an engineer, you can actually go into the quality aspect of the job. All you need to do is you do your ISO certifications, you do the required certifications that will enable you go into the quality aspect. If an engineer, you want to go to the rig, by the time you are employed as a young graduate, I think the company will equip you with the required certification in terms of buzzard, your swimming and everything. So it depends on what you want. So I would just want to say a little about my career.
You have 30 seconds.
Right, okay.
I'm not going to say too much about Guinness Nigeria. However, so one of the reasons I'm not going to be speaking too much is because of time, and then second of all, we do have a website that you can visit and then explore. But for Guinness Nigeria, who are we? I can boldly say that we are an employer of choice for women. One of the ways that we are an employer of choice for women is we currently approved our maternity leave. It used to be 4 months, but now we ensure that women go on maternity leave for 6 months fully paid. So that's one of the ways we encourage the women who are in our organization, because we believe that as women, you should not just bond with your child, but take that time to recuperate and get back to work. And once you're back at work, you are really focused, because your child is at a point where not obviously self-sufficient, but grown up enough for you to be able to leave that child and get back to work. Okay. So I also talk about our location. So we are located in 2 places in Nigeria. We have Lagos and in Benin. Also, with our recruitment process, we use something called Lagos and Benin. If I'm going too fast, please let me know. I can always slow down. For our recruitment process, it's pretty simple. We use something called Pymetrics. You can Google Pymetrics. It's a gamification. What that does for us is it helps us understand who you are as a person. It tests your qualitative and quantitative reasoning, and also helps us understand how you are able to collaborate either as individuals or as teams. So my advice to you would be, if for example you would like to scale through a gamification like Pymetrics, which a lot of multinationals use, please go online, find out about Pymetrics or other types of gamifications that you probably would encounter when you apply for roles in multinationals. Also for our CSR, we have something called Water of Life Project, which we try as much as possible to reach out to communities that do not have water. because we know water is life, right? And also during COVID, we actually started a project or an initiative called Raise the Bar, where we started to support barmen who we know sell some of our products during that tough time, because we know a lot of them lost their jobs, or some of them because bars were closed during that time. We thought about proactive ways or innovative ways to support them and also keep them in our purview, because we don't just interact with them when they're selling our products. We want to be able to interact with them as individuals also. So we came up with that project also. And then with regards to the requirements for joining my organization, we just need a minimum of your BSc, probably your engineering, if you're an engineering graduate, of course you have to have a 2-2. And then if you, for example, have an OND, lower credits is like the barest minimum for entry level. For other senior roles, of course, we have other requirements for those roles. You can always ask me, or you can see me after today or after this session, and I can explain better to you. With regards to behaviors that we're looking for, because we know that for graduates or fresh graduates, right, you probably wouldn't have experience. So what we're looking for basically is someone who is energetic, someone who is enthusiastic, someone who is very curious and willing to learn, willing to challenge the norm, and also open to growth. So if you do have those characteristics, then you understand that organizations like mine is where you should be and you should be working. And also, just to round off, I would just like to help you with some tips and tricks when it comes to applying for a job. Either you are in 300 level, 400 level, 500 level, or you've just freshly graduated, or you're in NYSC. I'd just like to just run you through some of the things you need to watch out for as an individual, or you can also share with your friends. So one of the things that's very important for recruiters like me, because I'm a recruiter, is you need to rock your profile on LinkedIn. I use LinkedIn a lot. Every single day I'm on LinkedIn looking for talent. And if you know you're on LinkedIn, but you're just on LinkedIn with just your name, and probably just your university name, without full information about what you studied in the university, I probably would just skip you and move on to another person who has spent time investing on their profile on LinkedIn. Yes, I know you don't have experience. However, there's some things you studied in school. The major topics you studied in school, what did you learn from it? Put it there on your LinkedIn profile, and you would see that recruiters will reach out to you more often than not. Okay? Also, network. So the reason you have APWEN here is for you to network, meet other people who have like minds like you, and also meet people who can also mentor you and help you grow in your career. Also, building relationships is very key, either outside of an organization or within an organization, right? So, of course, you're here, you're networking, you need to learn to build relationships with people, and also while in the office or while you're working, you need to also learn to collaborate with colleagues, collaborate with team members so that you can grow. Also, you need to learn to leverage social media. So I'm aware that there are a lot of engineering certifications that are quite expensive. And for people who are just finishing school, it might be a struggle. But you have YouTube, right? And YouTube can always help you with understanding some of the engineering procedures, or even understanding some machineries. You see people on YouTube who take their time to help educate you on, for example, learning more about the aspect or the sector of engineering that you probably are interested in. Go on YouTube, bury yourself there, learn more. You can use that little learning from YouTube to speak during an interview session when you're in an interview session. And from your speech or from how you present yourself in an interview session, we would know that you've done your research. So please and please, you have Google, you have YouTube, leverage those social media networks, okay? So I'll go quickly before I round up. You need to also read up on your preferred organization. So for example, I'm here from Guinness, Nigeria. We have some of my colleagues here. Nigerian Breweries is a colleague and also a competition, but we are colleagues at the same time. If you would like to work for any of us, either Baker Hughes, Nigerian Breweries, Guinness Nigeria, or your... Yes, so if you'd like to work for any of the companies, you need to understand what the company does by going to their website. exploring the website, every single page on their website has information about the organization. It will help you better understand if this organization is what you're looking for or not. And if it's not, you can always move on. Also, you need to follow these organizations on social media so that you are the first to know when, for example, we have job openings or job postings that either match your job skills or probably one for a friend. But if you don't follow us, right, that's when you hear things like, oh, there was a job posting, but it's closed now, I can't apply anymore. So it doesn't cost you anything. Just like, share, comment on LinkedIn, follow us, and I'm sure you get value for it. And finally, for your CVs, you need to have your CVs updated every single time. I know sometimes it can be stressful, and sometimes maybe there is not enough time, but if you invest in your CV, you will reap the investment. What am I trying to say? I know most of you probably don't have too much skills or experience. However, what you've learned while you were in school is still a skill. It's still an experience. Leverage that. Put down your CV. When you're putting together your profile, you can start with maybe a short summary of yourself and then write some achievements probably while you were in school. Even if you were probably like the president of an association in school, write it there. It helps organizations like mine to look at you and say, okay, this person has focus. Let's give this person a chance. So please, please, and please, your CVs are like a representation of you when you're not there. Invest in it. Finally, some organizations prefer potential to talent, and I'll stop there. The reason I'm saying so is because, of course, everybody is talented, but not everybody has potential. What's the difference between potential and talent is character and enthusiasm. Ensure that every single time you decide to apply to an organization, number one, you're prepared. Number two, when you're in an interview session, you're energetic. You've already done your research. It means you're more confident. If you've not done your research, it will show, right? So please, please, and please, I know you're young, I know you're vibrant, I know you're energetic. Try as much as possible to leverage that energy you have and use it in an interview session, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
The testimonial of what she has said practically showed through or reflected through our young engineer. So I'm not going to add to what she has said. Take it, digest, learn, unlearn, and then put it into practice. I'm sure one day you'll be showcased to as a beneficiary of what she has said. Thank you very much, Tolu. So I'm going to give opportunity to us because we're really running out of time. I'm going to give, we have how many speakers? 5. So I'm going to give 5 young engineers or collegiates an opportunity to ask one question. So if your question is for Tolu, then the second person would have to ask Victoria. Are we okay with that? Are we in sync? Please, let's manage our time. And I can tell you that they are available here to give you further clarification on any question you have. Do I have your word, please? Thank you very much. So please.
I want to first of all say thank you for the speech. And again, I actually want to ask something I should ask. As a young girl and a youth in this country, Nigeria, it's very difficult, especially when you graduate and everybody's like, there's no job anywhere. So at that point whereby you say, okay, there's no job and there's no employment, nothing, you're not seeing anything online, you still have that mind to approach someone, right? And also keep pushing till something happens.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just like us.
Remain resilient, keep pushing. Somebody someday most likely will respond to you. Just try as much as possible to see if you can reach out to people on LinkedIn, send them emails, send them a profile of yourself. Just pitch yourself, right, in their email. I'm not saying it's not going to respond to you.
Please, I want to ask the people in the breweries about the Afrotech movement. If one can volunteer to be part of the movement, I like females in STEM related stuff. If one can volunteer to be part of them.
So Afrotech is an organization, and just so you know, there are other organizations that we push the females in STEM movement. So this is just one I know, there are others. So my encouragement to you all is to look out for organizations that, like APWEN, that partner with females to boost their employability skills. And like I mentioned, for us, Afrotech is looking for 100 females that can partner with this program. So you can already do your research on Google or look for them on LinkedIn, register your interest, and I guess if you meet their criteria, they will definitely take you on board and be one of the lucky ones that does the 1-year internship in the Nigerian Breweries. Thank you.
It's Deborah. What are the possibilities of a civil engineering graduate? I mean, what are the possibilities of civil engineering graduate working with your companies? And secondly, what are your employability webinars? Do you have employability webinars with your company? Please elaborate.
Civil engineering graduates work from our organization, yes, but you have to start from institute.
What do you mean entry level? Like, please tell me.
Entry level means you have to start from the scratch. You have to groom you and grow you so that you start from graduate training kind of program. Yes.
I have a question for Brent. Now, this question also is likely to the first one I asked, and is what are the possibility of a civil engineer working with your company? And the girls tech, how am I fitting to non-engineering graduates?
Okay, if you ask like 3 questions, I'll try to take them one after the other. So yes, we do have a lot of opportunities for civil engineers. As our colleague mentioned, there's the graduate stream. So we have facility managers who study civil engineering in breweries. Then we also have mid-career. I'm guessing you're more interested in like more foundation. Yeah. So remember I said we have breweries scattered across Nigeria. So we have breweries all around, and from time to time the civil engineers participate in projects where they're either building a new structure or building a new line. So we do have those opportunities. But because they are more project-based, you may need to, as you said, develop your skills in other areas so that when you're not running the project, you can take on other forms of work. I hope that answers the question.
Okay, so forms of work like what, sir?
I'm confident squared one. The 500 students in materials and metallurgical engineering. My question is to Rebecca. Now, please, as a material engineer, what opportunities do I have in your company?
So, as a materials engineer, in any of our locations, okay? So, Baker Hills is an international company, so we are scattered all over the world. So, I don't need to say in Nigeria or anywhere, but I think in Nigeria, we are in Port Harcourt, we are in Lagos, okay, and we have an office in Abuja as well. But we are all over the world. So as a young graduate and you are studying materials engineering, so materials engineering, they work as like quality in our organization. So because for you to be a materials engineer, you should be able to carry out visual inspection very well. And when we want to do refurbishment on our trees, we need someone with the metallurgical knowledge to enable us check the strength of material, the properties, both physical and chemical properties of the material that we are going to use. Then also witness testing, and you can even work as a welding inspector, because when we are doing fabrication, so the materials engineer can do all those. So there are a lot. So materials engineer, you can fit in any of the locations. Thank you.
Depending on existing protocols, my name is Cynthia Mama from Federal University of Petroleum Resources, Delta State. Okay, this question I'm asking is kind of particular to me, but I believe I'm speaking the mind of many students or the graduates here also. I'm currently 400 level, supposed to be doing for my IT, that's my internship in January, and it has been very difficult getting an internship space. Like most companies are like, because of the COVID-19, we're not taking interns, but this is exactly not what we can tell our school. So, Better Hills or any company here, how can we apply for internship? We are starting January, and Until now, no internship space. Thank you. Sorry?
Next year,
January, yes. But I have my IT letters already.
January get us passed.
Next one is starting January. And I stay in Port Harcourt.
Okay, so let's get this straight. So
January 2022.
Okay, so let's.
But I have my IT letters already.
Okay. So sorry, let me say this. I think our educational system is part of the problem, because if you study outside the country, and when you're choosing to study engineering, there's either engineering with 1 year IT and there's engineering without an IT. Depends on your choice. And the university is the one that makes sure you have where to serve. But contrarily, in Nigeria here, the students are given the stress of scouting for where to serve. So most organizations like the international companies, let me use my company as an example. So there is a certain period in the year that they send adverts out to look for internship, to look for youth service. I'm actually seeing where they are requesting for application for those going for youth service, application for people going for internship. So, but the major challenge is if you're not following those companies, which is what the HROs here said. If you're following a company maybe on LinkedIn, so when the company sends in an advert, you are like first to know, which is what we are saying. So if the company, before a company will send out an internship, it has given them the criteria of the individual they want. So if you meet those criteria and maybe your CV is already uploaded in their system, it's like when we were looking for jobs in those days, we follow like the likes of Shell, the likes of Total, and once they bring out any open opportunity, you're like first to know and you will apply. So I would like you and I would urge you to follow all these companies on LinkedIn, okay? So you have first-hand information. And some of the APWEN here as well can actually help. I want to attest for our branch in Port Harcourt. Our past chairman actually was very active. We were helping to give people space. And you need to be active in your branch. Because if you are not active in your branch, how will you know if you need help? So if you need help and maybe the employees on the page are aware, I think at the moment we've got some persons who will be going for IT, and we are started saying to ourselves, can your company help? Can your company help? So if you are active and you are there on the page, you get those information, and if there is any help, it could be rendered. Yes, thank you.
For Cyrus, you're looking for Cyrus IT. So yes, a lot of organizations really started taking people, some are still not taking people. Nigerian Breweries, I believe we started, but in phases. So we're not taking as many people as before. But because we are scattered across Nigeria, I think each location they'll be able to take maybe like 2 or 3 engineers. But you can imagine that the competition will be quite stiff. So if you can come downstairs to our stand and we'll give you maybe an email address where you can share your CV, so that if there's an opportunity, I know they do CV testing, and then those who rank highest, those are the people they reach out to. So please, if you're interested, you can come down. But if your IT starts in September, October, it might be too late already, because like I said, you're already taking people for those batches. But if it's next year, you can still submit your CV.
My name is Mariam Suleiman, a recent graduate from Federal University of Technology. I also currently work as a research assistant at Advanced Engineering Innovation Research. So my question, I think, is going to be probably on the personal basis for it goes to this member at Life Contact. Okay, during the course of the conference, I've met women engineers that mostly what they focus on is the business part of engineering. And so when reading your profile, I saw that you got an MSc in engineering management. So if a young engineer wants to go into that, is it a must for me to get an MSc? Because you read electrical and electronic engineering, I also read electrical and electronics engineering. So how is it a must for me to have that MSc in engineering management and business if I can get that kind of opportunity in any of the companies? How does it go?
And business management degree before you can qualify. Although it depends, it's company by company, depends on how they operate. So really that puts you in a difficult position. But for NICOMSAT, it doesn't really matter. What they look out for is your passion and what you have. You know, as engineers, you build skills in engineering. However, what you have other skills, and that's what pushes you for them to qualify you and give you different opportunities. So you must not read business to qualify for business. However, some organizations require certain rules. They will not give you a position if you don't have the required educational skills for that. So it's quite a difficult question. It could be relevant in some organizations and it may not be relevant in other organizations.
So just to add to that, you mustn't be an MSc student. For every organization, when you are employed, for instance, once you're employed, let's say you are employed as an electrical engineer or technician or something. So your performance on the job will actually portray your management attitude and character and skills, right? Because as you commence or you start working in a company, you are being rated on several KPIs. So you have one of it as your management APWEN. So how do you relate with your peers? How do you work in teams? Do you stand out in your operations? Are you reluctant? Are you always giving excuses? So when the opportunity comes to groom people, because once they take maybe fresh graduates, there are some who they will put on leadership pipeline training. So all this comes from how you work. The how in it you need to take very, very important, because you are being watched by everyone. So as you work in teams, you know, in organization, there is what they call gossip in the outside world. But when you start working in companies, it is called networking. Okay? So how you network in your organization, it matters a lot, because as you're walking past this end, two managers are standing here and saying, how is that girl doing? The other day I saw her around this time, she's joking with her work or something. So once they make a statement about you, I think they normally call it first impression or the impression you give. So those things really matter and tell on your career. Thank you.
My question goes to our speaker from NICOMSAT. I'm Hannah Ibuke from a chemical engineering student, 400 level. So I have a very huge interest. I have a huge interest in astronomy. So this question is, I want to ask, in your company, for example, are there opportunities for chemical engineering and in sense?
We agree, because chemical engineering doesn't have any, there's no direct relationship with the kind of work we do. Sometimes depending on all the interests that we've had, and then the MDs we've also had have different considerations. So for example, if we have a slot for 2 women, and in all our applications we only have 3 women, and your skill is you read chemical engineering, however, what we need you for is business. After the interview, you may be considered, depending on your passion, because it's beyond, sometimes it's just beyond your educational background. It's all about what you love to do and your passion, and you can be employed. So it's just dependent on that as well.
Trade the question or my plate open to anybody that can help. Is there any way I can get internship skills? I'm going to every of the APWEN women, everyone here. Please, I really need help. Thank you. Chemical engineering.
My suggestion
right? Let them know every internship schedule so that they start reaching out to organizations like ours early enough on your behalf. Because there will be that link between you all and us. Because right now, there are different people or different students here with different timelines for their internship programs. And we don't remember everything. Like you go through APWEN, they will be able to send us that information on time and with all the details that we need at once, instead of getting CVs from different people. So they just direct all the requests to APWEN execs. I'm sure they'll reach out to us. And we'll try what we can do.
Employed or takes IT students, because I have a few of them in my organization. But like you said, because of the COVID, we have a limited number. So it depends on how early you send that application and how you follow up on that application as well. Because sometimes we check these things just for you to know this. Thank you.
Then we now have all the students come. Can we please applaud our speakers once again? Thank you very much. They poured out a lot about their companies and about themselves. One thing I should also let you know, all companies have their
things that we do to make it look like Southeast. So the face of our turn and gown is Joy. Can you please stand up? And she's from Southeast Nigeria. So she's the one on this banner. And that's what we do. We try to get an engineer, to be on this space. So after this time, the night concert, please sit down, Joy. The night concerts that's put to you here, they have given the young engineers an opportunity to come and tour their facility. So we're going to be doing that right after this. The young engineers will go out so that the room can be left for the professionals, and then they will. You are not going to just hold on. After this, then you'll go out and they'll take you to that concert. But before that, there are 3 ladies who have a creativity presentation. I want to give you 3 minutes to do that.
Thanks for giving us this opportunity. Okay, we are young engineers from Federal University of Petroleum Resources, Afro. This creativity something just came from the lecture we had yesterday by Engineer Roslyn Cletus Iga. Yes, we were really happy with the whole lectures, and when we got back, we were really, we've not really sold our clothes, so we are going to be so planless tomorrow that everybody's going to be dressed now. So we said, part of the thing she taught us was being creative. Engineers can do everything and anything. So you just have to think alongside, and you have to just think very fast. So we just had to go out that evening when we got back, and we got our scissors. That was one thing we got. And we made these beautiful dresses we are wearing. And someone is going to dress all of us. I'm going to see how the whole thing came about. So just watch, please.
Okay, about this dress, it was 6 yards, and we were 3 ladies who had to go through with it. So into 6 yards, we had to cut it into 3 to make it 2 yards to each person. And for the lady here, Jennifer, please come. For the lady here, for her to come in all nice and look good, finding it as a gown. If you look behind her dress, it wasn't sewed with needle or thread, just a little knot behind it. And if I thought she wants to change this dress to another thing, she could go all right with it. If she wants to wear a trouser or whatever she wants to wear with it, she can go with it. It could be okay, what she's trying to say is creativity and innovation. And you could see practically how she's folding a piece of 2
yards of the Ankara material, forming a gown in different styles, without you cutting or using stitches to sew or form this gown. Isn't that creativity? No, this was from our class we had yesterday from Dr. Roslyn Ida, when she taught on intellectual creativity, curiosity. She taught us on creativity and innovation. She taught us a lot of these four things: curiosity, and so many of which we picked on creativity and innovation. Yesterday we were so overwhelmed why these ideas came running down through our heads. She came up with a style, and we did the cutting, and they did the modeling. Now listen and be blessed. Firstly, she has clearly in this gown. This gown can go with a trouser, it can go with a short that carries a charisma. She likes her skin to be exposed. It makes her more comfortable. Remember, our tutor said that you should be comfortable with whatever you find yourself wearing. You should be comfortable with your skin. From all indications, she is comfortable with her skin. Now, let's have her. She was wondering on what will suit her personality yesterday. And we were like, should we come up with an idea that will make her feel more flexible? She liked to flex her gowns. She doesn't like a gown that is huggy. She likes a gown. And this is how we came up with the idea. This gown was cut just in the center, and it produced a cape gown. This cape gown is innovative, creativity, and is beautiful in her own style. And for she is someone that loves her gown to be expressional. She loves her hands to be free. She wants her waistline, which are narrowed, to be portrayed out. She loves to see her style rolling around her waist, because that is what she has to offer. Now, if you can see, she can offer that because she's confident and bold with what she carries. Now, if you look at her waist belt, this waist belt is expressional. It's expressing how narrow her waist is. Now, if I take off this waist belt, I can express this gown in different form. If I take off this waist belt, come here, please, Jennifer. You see how expressional it becomes, like a Yoruba Agbada. So it looks more beautiful, and I'll be handing over the mic to Jennifer to give more talking.
Okay, the truth is that in all these things, we were just because we're so excited about how the whole conference has been going that made us come up with this thing. The truth is that this is our first time attending a APWEN conference. I will never see a thing like this. The whole packaging, the way they pay attention to young engineers. I believe most of us are also happy the way we are. So a form is already going around just to get your feedback about this APWEN conference. Please, when they share it in the group chat, fill it, make short videos, post it there. The truth is I want to make APWEN come to the limelight, because this leadership has made APWEN something else. I don't know how to say it, but we are happy. Thank you very much.
Okay, sorry, just before we leave your beautiful faces, I think she has something to say. Yesterday, the inspiration came from the pieces of these beautiful materials you see in their body. So she was like, I was picking up the pieces, I was about dumping them by the waistband, and she told me that, no, Debbie, don't throw it away. I can make this to form my earring. My earring is a little bit rusty. Let me cover it up with these pieces. And you can see, she came up with this beautiful creation. And it's so beautiful because we see these things on TV, but we're inspired more to do this from just a teaching we got from Madam Engineer Rosie. And we want to encourage every APWEN young engineer that don't be limited. You can get a word that will take you to your next level. And as you do that, God bless you.
Big thank you to APWEN branch. Yeah, they be supportive.
Society of Women Engineers in the USA. Our past presidents have graciously entered into partnership with SWE. We are like sisters, APWEN and SWE. And for many years, there is an MOU that was signed where we work together with SWE USA to enhance our career, to grow all the things that we do, technological and engineering. So the MOU has been renewed again, and every year part of the benefits is for us to, we pay just a token to actually become members of SWE based on the MOU that was signed many years ago. And so this is calling on all chapter chairpersons to submit the list of your chapter members. We want to send the list to SWE for membership registration or for renewal as the case may be. It's just for a token that will be communicated to the chapter chairpersons. So if you want to join the Society of Women Engineers, add it to your CV, to your career, to become a member, then all you need to do is to talk to your chapter chair. The list will be submitted and we'll send it. Society of Women Engineers, they also hold conferences like this every year in different parts of the United States. So if you are interested in becoming a member and also in attending to enhance what you do today, to add to your CV, to add to your networking, to your exposure, then let us talk after this meeting. Thank you.
And give yourself a round of applause. That is not resounding enough. For those of you that are looking for internship space, you are looking for graduate training space, you better start showing the skills. The employers of young engineers are here, so please give yourself a round of applause. So please go downstairs quietly while they do the arrangements for you to go to your tour place.